And if I'm not mistaken, there were, I think, 60,000 lines somewhere in that range.
Holy moly.
No,
not quite that.
Oh, okay. Maybe I pulled that number out of the air.
It was like, I want to say it was like 35,000.
35,000.
That is
Okay,
still
well,
very
I love that we're like, okay,
I was
come
almost
on.
off by
60,000?
half.
Are you crazy?
Let's cut that in
How
half
about
and then add
30?
it. Like, no. It's a lot of lines still. No,
yeah.
God, 60,000.
Welcome, everyone, to the Bandai Namco podcast, where we give you exclusive deep dives on the games that you love with the people that help make them happen. I'm your host, Melvin Davis III, and today we're talking about Towa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree. But before we dive in, let's introduce the group. I'm here with Bandai Namco lead producer, Amanda Corey.
Hi.
I'm also here with Mick Lauer, who played the voice of
Nishiki.
Oh, was that in voice?
I mean, like, Nishiki.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Ah.
And we have Anne Yatco, who played
Rekka.
Hey, well, thank you both so much for being here. We're really happy you got in, and yeah, we're really excited to talk about the game and kind of your experience in recording it and working with Amanda. Because I guess when you guys walked in, very very familiar with one another, and kind of being on the social team, I don't get to see as much of the pre-production process, so it's really cool to hear and talk and learn about it. So I guess we can kind of hop in. Tell us about how it started. How did you even get cast, if you will? That's not on the outline, but I wanted to know.
Oh, okay. Well, once upon a time, I opened my email, and there was an audition, and it had many characters on it, and I thought, oh, that one's really cute. So I worked extra hard on that one. This is a lie. I auditioned for all the female characters.
Good save.
And Bompaku.
Nice.
That's true.
Yeah.
I do remember
They wanted a female
oh,
option just in case.
okay.
And I was like, okay, sure. But I auditioned for all of them, and you guys liked my audition for Rekka the best. And she fits me. Yeah, she's crazy. I like her.
Yeah. No, the second I heard your audition, I was like, this is it.
Aww.
She's the one.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting. There's an alternate universe where you voice another character in this as well.
Yeah.
Or both.
Or,
for all that
yeah.
matter.
Or all.
Or all.
Whoa.
All of them.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Too much work.
Yeah. I can't even imagine that. Was there another character that you really felt kind of like you were connecting with?
Trying to think. It's been so long since we auditioned for it. I honestly think Rekka was Mutsumi?
Mm-hmm.
Was probably the other
sure,
one. That I was like,
yeah.
I feel like that vibe I got, yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Mick?
I fell in love with the man as soon as I saw him. I saw that big brawny fish, and I was like, please, let this happen. And
Typecasting.
the stars aligned.
Has he done other big
All my
brawny
roles,
fish?
all the fish roles, it's
Well.
always me. I really want to branch out a little more, but for now, I'm happy it finally landed me with this role. No, similar. It's in terms of auditions, the process was pretty standard. It came through the pipeline. I will say I was very surprised when I saw some of the breakdown, because a lot of times, for the sake of confidentiality, a lot of the projects have code names and stuff like that. But when I saw it was Bandai Namco, I was like, oh, it's like suddenly, the hairs on your arm and the back of your neck, or for me specifically, because I have a lot of that, but they all stand up, and you kind of get that electricity of, man, I really want this to go well. And so when you do get the call, sometimes months later, I don't even remember how long the period from the audition to the casting was, but it's always such a surprise, or for me, it's a surprise. It was a wonderful double take of, wow, okay, so I guess I'm a part of this thing now, Yeah. Very, very cool.
For
That's
sure.
awesome.
I mean, I do remember like going through all the auditions with like my right-hand woman, Brianna Albert. She was through like the whole process with me. And we were listening through all these auditions together. And we were like in sync with like all of the choices. Like there was just sometimes where we're just like, oh my God, I know exactly who Origami is going to be. Or like when we were going through the Nishiki auditions, we were just like, how can it not be?
Oh.
But like because of that, we were able to get back to you guys, I think, pretty quickly.
Nice.
I want to say probably within 2, maybe 3 weeks tops after the auditions were submitted. But yeah, it was. You guys made it easy.
Thank you so
Aw,
much.
yay.
Thanks for having us.
And so I guess I'm led to believe from this that 2 to 3 weeks is fast for
It can be.
audition
Can
process.
be,
Okay.
yeah.
It can be. Because
Yeah,
we do
there's-
need to get like approval
Of course,
from
yeah.
BNEI.
Yeah. That can take a while. Yeah.
It can, but
mean-
I think everyone was pretty motivated for this game.
Totally.
Like there was a lot of like internal excitement
Yeah.
about it, and trying to find like the perfect cast, and
Totally.
hearing who the cast was on the Japanese side and the
Mhm.
Japanese voice actors. You know, it's pretty different
Right.
than
Right.
who we have on our side. Like it's a pretty diverse cast.
Mhm.
And it's different, like if players wanted to play the Japanese version versus the English version, and it's just I just feel like it's a different experience either way.
Totally. So we'll kind of move into a little bit about discovering kind of your character. And so, you said at the beginning that you haven't seen that much. You hadn't seen at the beginning that much of the characters or the gameplay, obviously, because we're kind of starting it.
Mhm.
But when you saw that first image, or you kind of saw the sides, and then as it progressed and you saw more of the game in completion, I'd love to know what were your kind of reactions when you first saw your character at the kind of beginning and towards the, I guess, as we're leading into launch.
We were talking about this earlier, but like when we auditioned, we just got like this one little image of each character, right?
Mhm.
And as we were recording, we didn't have a lot to go on visually.
Mhm.
There was like this wonderful script that we were recording, multiple sessions on, and in my mind, I had created like, oh, this must be what the world probably looks like. And I think we were talking like I thought it was more like a JRPG type setting. So I had that in my brain, and then when the game was introduced at like Summer Games Fest,
Mhm.
and you saw this beautiful like 2D animation, just so colorful, I was like, oh, that's what this has been this whole time? Well, I'm so glad that it looks like that. It was not what I had in my head, but I'm so happy that it looks so beautiful. It looks so whimsical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the characters, because we had that one image, and it,
Mhm.
I get to see this big, beautiful, beefy, brawny fishman, and I'm very flattered to get to voice him. But suddenly, the more we recorded, the more I first thought it was like a JRPG, and then part of me was like, is there like a dating sim part to this?
Oh.
Like,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they get really
Yeah.
intimate with some of like their fears and their hopes and
Mhm.
their qualms, and they actually start talking about other people's interpersonal issues. It's kind of like gossipy at times as
Oh,
well.
totally.
And I was like, what? How is all of this? When does this happen? Like, when do you get to experience all of this conversation? And then when I saw the demo as well, it was obviously, because it's a demo, it's more combat
Mhm.
heavy. So there wasn't a whole lot of hey, check out the calm, sit down and cool down periods between these characters.
Totally.
But in playing the demo, I definitely got to experience that. But in terms of like my initial response to the character, he, I guess I didn't quite know. I guess he looked like a big, reliable guy. And then the more we read, I realized he was a socially awkward, well-intentioned, and not naive. I think he can come off as naive at times, but really it's just he's just not really socialized, And it's weird because, not too many spoilers, but he travels a lot of the world, and he's done a lot of things, and he's met a lot of people, and he knows a lot about the land. He just doesn't really understand like what not to say to someone when they're upset. You know what I mean?
Right.
And part of he's also a religious guy, and part of that religion is spreading happiness and trying to do good deeds for people. But I think when you mix kind of like an unsocialized, well-intentioned, blunt character who wants people to feel good and he wants to do good, but doesn't know necessarily how to communicate.
Right.
It's like the phrase, the road to heck is paved with good intentions, and it doesn't always pan out,
Totally.
in
Sure.
terms of the relationships. But yeah, I loved kind of the arc of discovering just how kooky and awkward this character
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
like
yeah.
as you read more and more of these lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this says actually rated teen, so you can say hell. So keep that in mind.
I
Oh.
won't, though.
I will.
I will.
But I wanted to kind of know how did you connect with him? Did you like bring a lot of yourself with you to the character? I mean, I don't know if you are a socially awkward religious fish, but you could be.
I mean, I feel like for all characters, you find where you connect with the characters, and even if you don't necessarily connect directly, there's a part of you that either was that at one point or understands what it is to be like that.
Totally.
And then to, lean into it, but not cartoonishly, and to make it as honest as possible. I think once you know what the intentions of your character are, even if it's not who you are as a person, that just roll with that. You know what I mean? Like, try to be helpful, but then read the words on the page, and it's like, ooh, that's not very helpful. But you're still trying to be helpful, and then hopefully that comes out in the translation,
Yeah. Rekka's so funny because she's these parts of me that I don't express very often, right?
Sure.
She's such an intense person. She's so driven and she's so intense, but all of this is driven because of her like admiration and love and idolatry almost of Towa. Like she is Towa's #1 fan. Like if there was a fan club, she would be the president and the vice president and the secretary and the treasurer and the accountant, like all of that in one. She'd be the entire club, frankly. So it's so fun to see to play this character who is in many ways very singularly focused. But as the game progresses, like you get to see like the little shades of her that are outside of this whole like Towa fandom, like she has this whole other life as like the creator of this dojo, and she has her disciples and their disciples and their disciples, and getting to see the way she interacts with her home and these people that she's known and cared about, and their descendants, from there on after. Like, I think it's really cool seeing her interact with people who aren't Towa, because they like kind of reinform then how she feels about Towa. I also think like the way she's jealous of other people's relationships with Towa is so funny. It's so funny. Like, I don't consider myself the kind of person who's so very like into a fandom like that, but I know what that is. And I know that's in me. Oh, that's in me. And so I get to express it in a character like Rekka, which is fun.
In talking about other characters as my character, I did at first I was like, oh, I get to play the kind of socially awkward one, and then I realized all these guys are socially awkward. They all got something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious kind of about the character voices, and I know that we have, all these scripts, and we'll get kind of into how much of the script there was. But I think, I'm curious to know about how you found your character's voice, and then also what role you played in helping, to find and solidify the voice. Because I imagine during the audition process, I don't know, maybe you came in with a few different types of takes for each one. So I'm kind of curious about how that all kind of came together.
Well, honestly, when we're going through the audition process and I'm hearing their takes, and sometimes I do get more than one take, it's almost always the first take.
Okay.
And I go, oh my gosh, that's Rekka, or that's Nishiki, or fish cakes, as we like to call him.
Sweet.
So when we have our first session with all of them, we kind of go, hey, let's listen back to your audition. And that's the voice that we want to emulate throughout the entire length of however many sessions that we need to go. And my God, were there many sessions. It was a long script.
There was a lot of lines.
There were a lot of lines.
There's a lot of lines.
So
It's like, players, get ready. There's a lot of lines.
There's a lot of lines.
There's a lot of story.
Which is why when I saw the demo, I was like, where are they going to fit
But you know
all
what?
of these lines?
But here's the thing. It's never you're never locked into just like a cutscene that you have to sit there and watch. And you're just like, no. It is all like within the gameplay, or, like there are portions where you're sitting around a campfire or whatever. And you're just like, and it's always different because of the combinations that you're able to choose. Like when you first go out and do the dungeon runs. And it's so interesting to kind of get every character's perspective on every other character, depending on the combination that you choose at any given point in the story. Because like each one of you had to record like every conversation in every combination.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a lot.
Yeah. In terms of finding the voice, I mean, really, it was how they broke it down, like in the actual casting breakdown. I don't believe we got any of the JREFs for the Japanese references for the auditions. I don't think so.
Nope.
But then based on what the information we're given, we give the audition, and then we got cast.
Yeah.
And then once we're in the booth, we get to hear not only our audition, but then the JREF as well. And then I think it's it's pretty much a marriage of like, hey, you wanted the voice that you heard,
Right.
and this is the performance that you're hearing, kind of like the nuanced original performances that
Right.
you're hearing in the J. Now go, marry the two, and then that's becomes your voice essentially.
Totally, yeah.
Mhm. I think it's really fun as we were going through the recording, we got to express these characters in many more shades than are available in the initial audition.
Right.
Totally.
So getting to, explore the other, emotions that Rekka has.
Right.
I was like, oh, this is what she sounds like. This is who she is in a more fuller picture. And I think that was a really fun process.
Yeah.
Throughout
Because
the
there's only
recording.
so many lines that they can give you in the audition
Yeah.
that really kind of give you the full scope of the character.
Totally.
You're going to get like a handful of lines and some attacks and damage. But then when you actually get to do, what was it, thousands? It was like
So
thousands
many.
of lines.
So many.
You really, you get to see like them sad. You get to see them trying to riz something.
Yeah.
Or trying to be, I don't know, like sorting through things, being awkward or discovering things or coming into their own, all that kind of stuff that you can't really get out of the auditions. But what I do love is that because the sessions were so long, I do feel like organically it didn't feel like you were just thrown in to a character and be like, now I want you to experience all these things this person would experience, right? Or this character would experience. It's like we're going through it. We've spent so much time with this character. I do feel like we do know how this character would,
Right.
feel about the situation or
Yeah.
react. But yeah.
But you know what made it, I think, even not just easier, but like kind of a different experience than maybe some other story-based games is that in these discussions that these characters are having with each other, they're asking about one another.
Mhm.
They're diving deep into like their backstories
Yeah.
and really kind of getting to know these characters on, such an intimate level. I don't normally see that, honestly. It's just like you learn about the characters where they, like in many video games that I've played, like you learn about the characters, where they are and how you play them, and you don't really get any kind of backstory or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you do here.
Well, I think that's the benefit of in terms of the actual story, like the vehicle of the story is you get these characters from all different, parts of life and in the world, and they're all brought together. They're all selected as like this team,
Right.
essentially. So they've all had their own lives. They all have their own things that have been going on, but now they're kind of forced to be together and to work together towards something that they all do believe in.
Absolutely.
So they have a shared goal. It would be like if 10 people from across the world and we all, like, we'd never met each other,
Right.
but we all agreed that we had to do this one thing together. Then there is a genuine interest of wanting to learn more about these people. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I know we're all on board. We all agree with that we should do this, but I don't know you,
Right.
Right.
And so having this opportunity to fight alongside people and argue and make up and just learn more about their intentions and all that kind of stuff. It is very fun to see kind of unfold. And I imagine as part of the gameplay loop that, part of replayability isn't just unlocking new features and
Right.
levels and weapons and whatnot. I do think a big part of it is why do you want to keep playing? Well, you want to learn more about who these people are and why they're doing it. What would they do if it was this combination of people and stuff like that? So I'm excited for all of those lines to be heard.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, there were, I think, 60,000 lines somewhere in that range.
Holy moly.
No, not quite that.
Oh, okay. Oh,
How
maybe I
long
pulled
is
that
this
number out of the
game?
air.
It was like, I want to say it was like 35,000.
35,000.
That is
Okay,
still
well,
very
I
I
love that. We're like, okay,
I was
come
almost
on.
off by
60,000?
half.
Are you crazy?
Let's cut that in
How
half
about
and then add a
30?
piece. Like, no. It's a lot of lines still.
is,
No,
yeah.
God, 60,000.
I do know that it is, from what I understand, it's one of the more fully voiced games of this that we've done at Bandai Namco, especially particularly of this scale of game.
Yeah.
So it's really cool, and I've been hearing, I've heard so much of your performances already. It's been kind of great, being in that way. We're curious to know, like, are there any kind of points of inspirations for your character? Whether that be, and I think we've talked about the imagery, whether it be, there was a moment where you read something in the script and you went, oh yes, it clicks. It really, were there any kind of moments like that for you?
What's so silly is like when you're looking at this image, for me, like it's really just a gut reaction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I see this and I'm like, what does that sound like? I feel like it sounds something like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm playing around, right? And so I think for me, like kind of like these like anchor points for Rekka are just like her intensity, but then also like the flip side of her being like absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
And I love characters that have like these big dualities to them. So I love getting to play into like her like very like kind of badass nature, but then also kind of this almost slapsticky nature of hers. And just like I don't know, it was just really fun playing around.
Yeah, I think in terms of like, I don't think there was anything in particular that was like, it's that.
Yeah.
I do think the breakdown in the casting was because I think for Nishiki it was like there was like a fatherly element to it, but then also like a patient warmth, but also this brave friend. All of these things kind of create a mental picture, and then you kind of overlay that with the visual, and then boom, that's kind of mostly where it was. I think the visual for me was really, you just like what you were saying instinctually, like you see it and you're like, I think that's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the casting notes really kind of help guide you to confirm or deny whether or not that instinct is right. But yeah, I think that was about it. Once in the booth, though, I think once I saw more of the lines, I don't know if it was any particular one character, but definitely the archetype of like, I don't know, just big guy who wants to help. Let me save you, young thing, or whatever. And it's like, I was trying to eat that. It's like, oh, sorry, here you go. I don't know. There was just as the script went, and yeah, I think that kind of just uncovered more of what we were going for.
Right. And I guess from the first producer's perspective, how is it? I mean, recording all this stuff, working with the actors to keep the energy up, to not flag, to make sure that the interest in the performances stay the same. I don't necessarily know how long a recording session is, but say you're 5 hours into a recording session, how do you kind of keep that performance up, especially for something as long as this?
I mean, I would say recording sessions are like 4 hours max.
4 max. Yeah, I think we maxed out at 4, but there were a couple that were 4, I think.
Yeah,
it was like 2 to 4 hours usually.
Right.
But for some of those sessions, man, those were...
It gets tough, but I mean, that's what breaks are for, right?
Yeah.
But like we also joke around in session.
Yeah.
Like it's
you're not speaking for 4 hours.
No.
Straight.
No, certainly not. And then we're always like we're joking around. We're making fun of these characters. We're like, oh my god, I can't believe she just said that. Or I don't, what did fish cakes just do?
Yeah.
Or or just like even aside from the game, and we're talking about life. We're talking about like things that are happening, and it just kind of keeps things. I think that's the kind of thing that like lifts morale, and it's not just like a drudgery of just speaking.
Yeah, right.
And luckily this was also not one of those games where it was just like battle heavy voices all the time.
Yeah.
Like
Thank goodness.
grunts and screams, and which totally like destroys voices,
And drains you just energy-wise.
Oh, totally.
I mean, 2 hours of orc screams.
Yep.
And not only are you just drenched in sweat, your voice is hoarse, you go home and you can't even stand. Like it is, because your entire body is engaged every time you're talking. It's like every molecule is being engaged just for hours straight. Like that'll drain you. But this was nice. There was definitely a lot of quiet, just like conversational moments, and then the breaks in between were really nice. And I will say, in terms of inspiration and keeping morale, or at least the energy, is I'm going to bring it back to the JREF that was there too. Right. Where we got to hear the original performances, and that kind of helps, like, because there are times you'll read a line and it's like, hey, check this out, and
but there's no context in
there's
like
no context,
delivery.
and so maybe you're like, hey, check this out. And then it's like, you listen to the ref and it's like, hey, check this out. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, okay. It's more of like, hey, come in.
Yeah,
This is a thing. Or vice versa. You know, there's moments that you're not quite sure what the energy level should be. When you have the J ref, it's like, got it. That's an 8. I'll give it an 8.
Yeah,
you know?
they're like they're a
Exactly.
North Star. So
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
And I have to also like give a shout out to Kirsty, our director.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Working with Studiopolis was just like, I mean,
we love Studio
like-
Apples.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Million percent.
they definitely made this experience amazing. And so it's really just like this big team effort.
Right.
And Brianna was in the sessions as well. And just like, honestly, I'm not actually the one chiming in most of the time,
Right.
you know? I'm just kind of trying to keep track of what line's been recorded and making sure we didn't miss any
That's
of
part of the team.
35,000
Yeah, that is a
very important part
lines.
of the
Very
team.
vital.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That's exhausting.
Yeah.
Being on
Yeah,
like that and just being like, you can't do anything else
Yeah.
because you'll miss it
yeah.
Right.
You have to be listening the whole time.
the whole time.
Yeah, no YouTube video in the background.
Oh, no.
no podcast in the background.
Oh, no.
You have to be focusing and working.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you have a sexy fish in the, in the studio, it makes it easy.
I'm curious to kind of dig in more to the voiceover process. I know we talked about the physicality of everything, and I think that's actually one thing that's really fascinating to me about voice acting. I think a lot of times people don't necessarily, and I think a lot of people, our fans know, but I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand the physicality that goes into the acting. Because, you know, if you're not giving the actual performance, your voice doesn't kind of match what you're doing, and I
Right.
think it reads as dishonest. So I'm kind of curious, you know, were there any things that were like really particularly difficult to nail? I think you mentioned kind of doing like the action sequences, like that could be really challenging.
Yeah, I mean, there's the challenge of you want to be physical, but you also don't want all of this
Right,
on the microphone.
right.
Yeah.
Fabric wrestling.
Yeah, which I actually had a really bad session once. I
Yeah,
came
yeah.
in with a shirt that was like, it made so much noise,
Oh,
and I was
no.
moving so much, and you know, God, I felt so bad, because then I felt particularly awkward because then I couldn't move at all, and I was just like just talking head,
Sure, and then that's in your head.
and then it's in my head the whole
Yeah.
time. But yeah, the action stuff can get weird if you move around too much. I notoriously move too much. I also sway.
I also move too much.
Do you do you
yes,
do like the foot to foot thing?
Yes, because you're standing for a real. I like standing, so I'm standing for a long
Me
time,
too.
and then I'll just accidentally drift sometimes.
Yeah, but not only is the issue that you might go off mic, if you have a squishy floor, because some of the floors are like
that's
raised
right, that's
floors,
right,
yeah.
and so sometimes you'll hear like,
You're like, no.
yeah. So you got to just like plant your feet. So you're moving, and then as soon as it's ready to go, you go still.
Yeah.
You do your line, and then you're back. Yeah.
But I find like for like you find for yourself like things that you can do that aren't going to like disrupt you know
Right.
the audio quality,
Right.
but still allow you to feel like you're doing something. So even if it's just like feeling the impulse of it, or if it's like a tense scene, I'll just like ball up my fists really hard just to
Yeah.
keep the tension in me.
Right.
There's like little cheats that you can do to simulate at least somewhat of
Right.
physical like nature
Yeah.
to match what you're feeling or doing.
When you mentioned that a lot of the lines that I ended up doing, like especially if it needed to be like in this grounded lower place, I would do like a weird prayer thing just to kind of like put myself. And it was
Sure.
like, yes, like down in this portion, like I was like trying to find like where it was in my body.
Yeah.
And, like, every single take, it was like bring it here, bring it back here. So yeah, just to keep like the consistency up.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Wow. And how do you kind of find those? Is it just like it's just naturally kind of happens, and then you're like, well, this works. Let me center back to that.
I mean, for
Yeah.
me, I think it's, you're just kind of fumbling around until you're like, oh, that's where it is. Okay, this is kind of working, and then you do
Right.
it again, and yep, okay, and
Yeah.
now it's working. Yeah.
It's really cool. I'm curious to know, as we're talking about the VO process, how much recording was there together? I know it can be something that you do alone, or
None.
Okay,
For this
none?
game,
Okay.
we were all by ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what challenges does that present recording separately? I mean, I know there's so much kind of story and interaction with one another, and I know you have the J references, but
Right.
like, you know, what are the challenges of bringing that to life without having someone to kind of bounce off of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's challenging.
Yeah.
You know, for us, like when we record alone, there's so much of us having to like play it in our minds. Like,
Mhm.
what is that sound? What might that sound like so that I can respond organically? But depending on your recording schedule, the person who's in that scene with you might have already recorded earlier enough that it's already been edited and put into slotted into place that you can hear the reference at least of your scene partner as well as your reference of the Japanese seiyu. And when it's like that, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
And it's a real treat when you get to hear your scene partners.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're recording first a lot, which I felt like for some reason I did, maybe we all kind of felt that. Just
I think at some point everyone was first.
And so when that happens, it does feel a little like, talking to the void a little bit. But when we were, Kirsty read for us, right?
Kirsty would read us in a lot,
Yeah. So we would at least have some point of reference.
Right.
But getting to hear the actual characters, it was very fun.
Yeah.
There's some wild characters.
There sure are.
Yup.
I can't wait for everyone to kind of meet them more in depth than they've seen with the demo so far.
Yeah.
But not just like the characters that are playable, but all the characters that are in the village that you get to meet, and like their descendants, and just all the different crazy personalities that just exist in Shinju Village.
Yeah.
And I may have played one of them.
Oh, yeah? Oh!
Yeah.
Is this your debut?
A voice actor?
Oh,
my
congratulations.
God.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Yeah. When are we going to get you some SAG membership?
Whoa!
Oh, I don't know about that. No. I like my job here a little too much.
Fair enough.
But I get to hang out with all of you guys all the time and all these different projects. So that's like the biggest blessing. But no, it was a lot of fun just like being able to go in and just like looking at all the characters ahead of time and be like, who do I want to be? Because like I could cast myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not?
Where did you record? Here?
No, I went. Brianna and I went to the studio once.
Oh, nice.
And like in person, and I was just like, can I do it? No, what the.
Just that one.
I'm not going to say who I did though.
Well, and this can be an aside. I don't think we need to keep it, but I have also cast myself in a project before.
Oh.
I once cast myself as an armed guard in a feature film that I would not recommend you watch.
Oh, what? Why?
This is amazing.
Is it just too good?
Garbage.
No,
It
it's
is
not.
awful.
Okay, so that's even more of a reason.
Yeah, now I
Okay.
really want to see
Well,
it.
I'll tell you the name
Make
of the
it my ringtone.
I'll tell you the name of
for
it
when you call me.
when we're,
Huh?
I'll tell you the name of it when we're not recording, but it is on Amazon Prime, and you can
Oh,
see me in it a
excellent
couple
name.
different times.
All right.
But
I like how you're dropping breadcrumbs for anyone who wants to
yeah.
deep dive into this video and
Quick,
like
IMDb this gentleman right now.
You know Reddit.
Oh, it actually is.
You get an entire Reddit forum on it.
No. I'm sorry.
Cut it off.
Cut that.
Yes, it is actually absolutely. But to kind of bring it back to the performance of it all, curious about how you make your mark as kind of the original English voice versus when you're working from the reference, because you want it to be similar, but you don't want it to be the same.
Right.
And like, what's the challenge in making that character your own while not kind of stepping too far outside of what has been prescribed?
That is literally the hard
Wonderful.
thing.
Right.
What a wonderful, thoughtful, difficult question.
Yeah, and thank you. No, it's
Just
tough.
career-wise, it's like so hard.
So much of what we do, like working in localized video games and also anime, like we are having to ride this line of honoring what has happened before us, but also making it something that feels like authentic to us and authentic.
And what we were directed to do.
Yeah, that
and
too.
what
Yes.
they approved
You're
in
right.
terms of
There are
your
so many
voice.
layers to it. It's really just a hope and a prayer.
Yeah, I think ultimately it boils down to like, for the actors' sanity, I think the most important thing is like, hey, you got hired. They liked what you brought to the audition. The director likes it. The people who are producing like it. So you are confirmed. This is the voice they're going with. Great. Then you just own that and then do your best. And that's it. Like you honor the source material as best as you can while also honoring your director's direction and the writing that's been provided to you. And you just commit to that, and you have to walk away and just be like, I did my best, but there's always going to be situations, especially established characters. If fans already love an established character, that tightrope is so teeny tiny,
Right. Yeah.
that unless you're like, I'm just gonna be frank, if you're super duper popular, to begin with, then you have a better chance of audiences going, yeah, I hear it. Yeah, they're really good. But if you're like someone that they've never heard of and you're reprising a role that somebody else has done, legendary people or a legendary role, they're like, I don't know, who's this guy stepping into these shoes? Why didn't they rehire that other guy who's like 80 now? It's like, well, I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter how much time passes. They're always like, why didn't they rehire that same person? And it's like, because they didn't. I mean, it's been 40 years.
They're retired.
They're retired.
There are so many reasons why someone would step into a role like that. But yeah, and the same thing applies for like these localization jobs, right? At the end of the day, you can only control what you can control, which is I can just control what I do in this moment, and how it gets received is out of my control.
Yeah.
That's
Do your best.
Yeah.
So I know, and this is also kind of an aside, but I know that sometimes performances can be received negatively, and I don't think that's always the most fair critique, as I think we kind of mentioned. From the, I guess, publisher side, if you get this or we see something like that, what sort of support would you like from us, like in any sort of way? Is it like a phone call from the producer team? Is it a post like
wow,
What does this exist?
I
Does
know.
this even happen?
And I think it can't be everything, but we can't see everything, but even if it's a statement like don't be mean to our voice actors on social media, like what would make you feel I guess almost safer. I think a lot about we see a lot of people, especially like minorities, when they are when they are cast in a lot of movies and roles, and they get kind of like a lot of unfair vitriol. So as someone who does have the opportunity to contribute to the public voice of the company, I'm curious to know, like, as a voice actor, what kind of support are you looking for from us?
That is the nicest thing.
Is such a nice,
I've
rare,
ever heard.
First time I've ever heard that. That's like a question, like, how do we pay you more? And you're like, what? I've never heard this before. What?
But when it gets cut by Japan, you'll know what happened.
Oh my gosh.
No, I mean, ultimately, especially because I think we live in a fairly cynical time where the moment there's even the hint of potential, blowback or drama or whatever, a lot of times the producers or publishers, they want to distance themselves immediately from it and just kind of like, we don't know what this is, disassociate, and just kind of separate, put as much distance as possible, rather than how do we support, which is why I think it's so rare.
It's very refreshing.
It is refreshing.
Yeah.
I think any support, not throwing the actor under the bus immediately is kind of nice. Hearing them out would be, kind of nice. Yeah.
No, I mean, and I think you guys are already doing it. You know what I mean? Just even the very act of asking that question tells me, like, we're in good hands.
Yeah.
Right? I think for us as, like, English voice actors, there's, like, there is still, even in the year of our Lord 2025, a weird stigma about English voice acting, especially as it relates to localized content. And I not that to say that there isn't a wonderful audience who appreciates that and can appreciate both, because both are wonderful.
Absolutely.
Like, I love watching subs. I love playing content in the original language that it was produced. However, there's a reason why stuff is localized. It is both an accessibility issue and also a preference issue, and that is valid. And I think reinforcing that is the best thing you can do. I think this is just my humble opinion, I think when publishers, when companies just generally support and acknowledge our existence and validity as performers is the biggest thing you can do. You know, and that's not to say that then this is one thing that people also get tripped up online. People think that saying that English dubs are good means that saying that Japanese content is bad. I'm like, that's not what we're saying. We're not putting ourselves against one another. We're trying to say that both things can exist in the same time and be valid.
Nothing makes me happier than seeing the role, like the actors of like different dubs of different languages, but the same character together. And look, so to your point, not that I'd ever expect it, demand it, ask for it, but it would be so nice and is so cool when, like, the Japanese, like the original acknowledges the dub. You know what I mean? Going either direction, whether it was originally, a Western production and then it gets dubbed in another language. And I'm not even talking just like Japan and America. I'm talking anywhere. Like, just seeing other, like, if that is their professional published version of something and it's dubbed, that there is kind of a camaraderie rather than
Yeah.
and an outward acknowledgement of camaraderie rather than a divisive, well, which one's better? Put it on a tier list, you know? It's like,
Right.
let's immediately try to pit these things against each other.
Right.
And if you like that, you're dumb. And if you love it, you're dumber. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know. I just feel like it's so cynical in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But
Like, it's
When
not a
what's-
competition.
Yeah, exactly. And what's funny is that like Japanese voice actors are dubbing American content
All the time.
the time. And like in Japan, no one bats an eye. In Europe, no one bats an eye that there's a French dub of anything.
Yeah.
But once it's in English, all of a sudden it's garbage.
Like, why?
I am curious though,
Like,
because I've never gone on like Japanese forums. I don't know. Maybe
I mean,
there.
to be fair,
maybe there is.
I don't. Maybe there is.
Maybe there is.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, there's like they're watching like Western cartoons in English, and they're like that is superior. That is the sub version, and they have like their own hate for dubs.
I don't know.
And maybe,
I mean, they
maybe
imagine
that's
they
true,
must,
honey.
for like some of the things that start here, a lot of the animations that start here and make their way across. I mean,
Right.
I think about I saw Band of Brothers for the first time in Portugal. As a dubbed.
Okay.
Oh.
It's weird, right? It's
Very
weird. So I
random.
saw it in Portuguese, and then I came back to the US and I bought the DVD box because I thought, oh boy, this is gonna be great. I loved
Right.
it when I was watching in Portuguese, and then I kind of came back and it was just such a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And so of course I didn't go online and tell everyone that they were terrible actors.
Right.
But I think a lot of it, at least for me, was the familiarity.
Right. I was going to say that's
You know,
your
whatever- yeah,
entry point.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it's
Right.
hard to relearn something
Absolutely.
again. I
Right.
think
You fell in love with that initially.
did.
Everything else is an imposter at that point.
well.
Well, not every. I'm not trying to. Now I'm polarizing.
No,
No,
that's-
no.
Mick.
Right. I'm the problem. I am the problem. I just. Yeah. There they go. I was gonna say like I personally really like Dark Souls 2.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people who have like there's a meta that Dark Souls 2 isn't good.
Right.
I have purchased not only Dark Souls 2 but Scholar of the First Sin.
Right.
Beat all of them, both versions. So it's like I don't know. I get it. Like that was my first Souls game, so that's why I have a soft spot for
Right.
it. Yeah, that was really just me trying to throw in a Dark Souls.
He plays Dark Souls.
I play
Okay,
Dark Souls.
we got
I
it.
play Dark Souls. I'm a
Okay.
gamer. I'm a real
We're
gamer.
talking about Towa right now.
Oh, right.
Okay,
But no, I think it's actually interesting talking about that. I've noticed there's kind of this push for superlative and hyperbolic speech. And I think that, whether or not that is the intention, when you say that this is trash, this is garbage, this is the worst, or this is the best, or this
Right.
is so peak, it takes away a lot of the space for nuance, which I think...
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry, nuance.
Nuance. What is
In
that?
the year of our Lord 2025, nuance?
Dude, have you seen like a list of like go to your home feed on YouTube? It's like peak cooked.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
it's either something is peaked or it's cooked or it's done or it's 5,000% over and it's just like
Yeah.
You're like,
And
what
this
is
is-
nothing is in between.
This is the culture we're in now, where
Yeah.
everything has to be said in a way that is going to like grab viewership.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the reason why people do tier lists.
I have actually recently seen a few videos that were reviews and it was like mid but worth it? Question mark.
God.
And I'm like, so basically normal.
So
like,
fine?
Like yeah, fine.
Fine.
Like,
Fine.
you could love it and
Right.
somebody else may not. That's basically mid but worth it question mark. But I'm seeing that in a number of different thumbnails. So
Okay,
Right,
okay.
that's
I think
right.
nuance might be on the rise.
It
again.
might be.
Wow.
Okay, so
I
actually,
hope so. I hope so.
Me too.
this isn't
Hopes and prayers.
necessarily like in our outline, but now that we're talking about it, I'm curious to know if you have a clickbait headline to sell Towa. or a clickbait video title. So we have mid but worth it, which I think is pretty strong.
Yeah, I think no. Towa is not mid.
No.
Well, no. I don't mean that Towa is mid but worth it. I think that's just a very strong and absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Statement to make, yeah.
Good God, I don't know. Like, I'm a producer. I'm not in marketing.
Okay.
You know what? Without saying too much,
Towa is goated.
I would say
yes.
gaming legends collaborate on what?
Ooh, that's good. Yeah.
Something?
All
Now, who are the gaming legends? Or is it you?
No, I'm talking like the production team
Oh.
and as well.
What's stopping you from being a gaming legend? This isn't your first game, nor is it your second.
It's not. Well, I just meant in terms of the development side of it.
yes.
Yes, that there is some legendary
This is
key
true.
elements that I'm sure people can discover.
Now, I
if they look it up.
say you could make a clickbaity headline just like Hot fish man? Question mark, exclamation mark,
That's
question
the
mark.
thing.
Fair
That's
enough.
it.
I
Fish cakes.
kid you not. That was like a thing. They're like, when you're casting Nishiki, you make sure his voice is hot.
Damn. All right.
All right, this is a lot.
We are going
This is a
to.
lot.
No
Hey.
pressure.
This is a lot. This is a lot to take in. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
No, I'm not even joking. This is
Now, is this something someone said to you
Facts.
before? Have they said you have a hot voice?
just now.
Just now.
Just
Okay,
now.
yeah.
Just now.
Well, so I know we've kind of talked about this before. At what point in time did you really kind of start seeing more concept art or imagery of the game? Was it like after you finished filming completely that you started seeing things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, for me specifically, aside from the first few images, I think there was like a not even a world map, but there was like something kind of worldy related, like some forest.
Some concept art
Yeah,
that I
some
may have
concept
like
art.
thrown into the chat there,
Yes.
but like that's
And then
all I had. really.
and then
Yeah.
a few of the characters, and then actually all the characters. I think we got to see all the character lineup.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And maybe some of the villagers, like the dojo bull
Yeah.
guy,
Mhm.
and then also the blacksmith guy, maybe.
I know I had a spreadsheet that had like all of the NPC names, a
Yeah.
picture associated with
for-
them, but they were
yeah.
such small images. So
Yeah,
it-
I mean, well, we zoomed in. We wanted to know when we were going through it. But yeah, the most I saw of the game was, I believe it was the Summerfest, when they were showing all the trailers of
Right.
all the
Yeah.
different games, and I think we had the same reaction. It was like,
Oh.
I'm in that. Like, what? That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looked beautiful. And they were showing, because like in the trailer, they're doing that thing where they're running. It's the same characters in place, but the backgrounds
Right,
like,
yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah.
transitioning. So you get to see like
Oh,
the
yeah.
winter and the fall and
Mhm.
this and
As
the
the
desert.
time
or whatever.
passes.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
the time
yeah.
passes. And then the music is swelling and going. I was like,
It
crazy.
looks so
What
good.
is this?
God, the music in this game is incredible.
Yeah.
Out of this world.
Yeah, I only played the demo, and I don't know how much of the music I got to hear in it, but it was spectacular. This is not #ad. This is gamer. I loved it. I anyone can challenge me. Anyone who's listened to it can challenge and be like, no, I don't think so. Mid but worth it. No, it was
No,
peak.
no. It
It
was
was good.
objectively, I think, one of the best game soundtracks I think
It's
I've heard
so
in a
good.
long time.
It's sweat. Just even the swelling of the music, even in like the intro scene, like in the intro screen that they had.
Oh yes.
We
Oh,
actually
so-
have 20 minutes of the soundtrack on our YouTube right now. So if you ever want to
Really?
go in and take a
Oh.
listen,
I would
Oh,
absolutely
heck yeah.
put that on in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's
Two
working
two
music
separate
right there.
videos.
Mm-hmm.
So you can check it out on our YouTube. Just shilling my own work really
Yeah,
quickly.
nice plug.
Very good.
But yeah,
He's a
I'm-
pro.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious about that moment when you see your character come to life. What's that like? You know, you put in the work, you step away from it, and then you come back and you see who your character is. And then I think, working both in animation, I guess traditional linear animation and working in video game animation, like what's that moment like?
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. There is always a little part of you as an actor that's like your inner critic, and you're just like,
Of course.
oh, really? That's what you did?
No.
Why?
Oh yeah, I mean every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the judgment on the art. It's like that's what I did.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right,
that's,
right,
that's my
right.
point.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. But I think that's a testament to like what you're seeing is so cool.
Yeah.
You want to believe that you're meeting the moment.
Exactly.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
For in terms of like the reaction of seeing it for the first time, I do also a plug. I also do some animation as well. So in my head, I think I kind of was already kind of seeing the character based on the character design, based on the scenarios that were occurring, and the conversations that were happening. I could see some of the sit down by the campfire or, going to the village and walking around and talking to villagers or fishing or all these types of things. Honestly, in my head, I had the animated series of Towa
Oh, man.
playing out, all 15 seasons of, no, wink, wink. No, but yeah, in
I
my
mean-
head, I
Make
think
the game a hit.
Listen, I would love to see this game made into an anime.
Oh, and we
would
had
be
some of that
great.
with what our brand manager did with
Yeah.
with
those
Titmouse.
cutscenes
Right.
are so
Yeah.
cool.
Oh
Those
my
little
gosh.
snippets, the
When I
animations
first
are
saw it,
so
I
good.
was blown
charming.
away. I'm like, this needs to be a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Well.
I'd love that to be a thing.
Yeah, we get a hit game. We can make an anime out of
It's
that. I don't greenlight, but I will.
We will do what we can.
Yes.
Look, you've got the world, you've got the character designs, you've got the actors. Just saying.
It's right there for you. That's right.
I would love to keep that going on and kind of playing for a while. But kind of with that, what is the difference between kind of animation VO versus video game VO? Is there much difference?
To some extent, no.
Okay.
Like,
No.
right? Generally, like your acting process is very similar. But I mean, with video games, especially with video games that have a lot of like options,
Mm-hmm.
you have to keep going back and re-recording the same thing over
Right.
and over again, but different permutations of it.
Right.
So there's a little bit of like having to juggle, like, where are we? What is happening
Right.
in this moment? Have we done this one yet? Did the player choose this option or that option?
Right.
How do I feel about that? So there's a lot of kind of just like navigating for yourself, like the little nuts and bolts of it.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
Yeah, I would say from a technical aspect, yeah, there's maybe the additional challenges that were mentioned. But I think in terms of like this game in particular, there was so much dialogue that I almost felt like it was an anime.
Right.
very much so.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it had full scenes. It wasn't just like attacks and call outs or whatever. It was full blown scene after scene after and they're even written in a way where there's like a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Right.
Like even if you're continuing a previous conversation, there's still like a beginning, middle, and a punchline or a closer for
Yeah.
each one of these
Yeah.
scenes every single time. So in that way, it did feel a lot like an animation. No.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I mean, we're getting kind of close to the end, but I have a few more questions for you before we separate.
Sure.
Are there any particular voice lines that you recall, like that you did that you loved? Or are there any that kind of stand out to you that we could get them to, that you remember that we could get them to do?
Please help me because I have bad memory.
Well, let's see. I mean, there's that line that you would have to say, the sacred right.
Oh,
Do you remember that one?
no.
Sacred right?
Sacred
You know,
sacred
that
right?
whole
Yes,
speech.
that whole paragraph of
Yeah,
the line.
it's
Yeah.
a pretty long thing. I love it. Like, hey, do you remember that line? That
Hey, you
whole,
remember that
whole
paragraph?
sacred
You remember
right?
that
Yeah.
whole scene that I would like you to recite right now?
It was like by the spirit of the trees and the
There were definitely trees,
the
and
Something
spirits,
that
wind,
says a tree.
Tsurugi and a Kagura.
and the wow, yeah, you're doing good.
Brianna,
how remembering
Is it coming
words.
back? Is it,
No.
all of a sudden you're just gonna start like you're just rolling it down the hill and then
Listen.
it's gonna
So here's the thing. It's been over a
Oh, yeah,
year.
absolutely.
Yeah.
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 Okay, wait.
Okay, we're seeing.
Yeah, no. That's
You
true.
guys said the secret line 50
Okay.
times per character.
Okay,
This is facts.
it has been brought to our attention that we should probably remember more of the sacred right
Yeah,
because
since we said it so many times.
we had to say it so many times, and I do find it interesting that we did record that entire sacred right, and they did
Every-
not just repeat it.
Yeah, they didn't just cut and paste it.
No cut and paste. You reread this
Every time.
whole thing every time. Yep.
Okay, well, we're learning there are two different versions of it, so it makes sense that you may not remember it. And I don't think that the intention was to come in that hot to say that you
No.
meant-
You're like, oh my God. I didn't know there was a test, and I failed. And as an Asian American, this hurts me more than I can tell you.
B plus. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, wow. Well,
Get out.
I could never
No,
face my
you
mother
know what
again.
though?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you guys had remembered that, I would have been the most impressed ever.
Dang it! No,
All right.
I really wish I had.
So then
But-
we cut, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
you put it on the screen,
Right.
and we kind of
Looking
close
it
our
up right
eyes
now, I
and
know
side
it.
read it, and then you play that version, and then we cut to you being impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay,
Got
good.
it.
Yes, we'll do that.
though we do have
Brianna's
it
got
coming.
it.
Oh,
She's
actually,
got
so
I got it.
we got it. But while we're waiting for that to kind of pop up for us, I'm thinking it makes sense because it's not like screen or stage acting where you have to memorize the script
No.
and
No.
stick in with it. So, you can reference your sheet and give the performance over and over. So why would you, commit to memory 50 different takes of two different versions of the same particular
Yeah.
thing over and over?
Okay, so instead of maybe a specific line, maybe a specific scene that stuck with you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like any of the conversation. There was one conversation that Nishiki has where I think he's talking about how he's never really had a family before,
Right.
Yeah.
and
I
that
remember that.
Yeah.
and that this is pretty much the closest thing. But then I feel like there was one there was a story in his past where like he like lived with some village for a brief period of time, I think, and he stuck around there longer than usual because usually his MO is he goes into town, he helps people out, he builds some houses, gets them fish or food or whatever, kills some monsters or something, and then everybody thanks him, and then he walks off and goes to the next town, village, whatever. But I think there was one story that he was sharing where he had to stick around longer than usual, and they like invited him into their home and he lived with them for a while, and somehow that was where he got a taste of what it's like to actually have a home or to have a family. And that I think this group of heroes was essentially that feeling again, or something like that. I believe. I don't think I'm making that up.
You're not.
Okay, great.
You're not.
All right.
No, I remember this too.
Yeah. And I don't know, it stuck with me. There's a lot of things about characters that have again, he's not naive, but an unsocial, like learning something for the first time. I know that sounds pretty much the same thing as naive, but it's not, because he is smart and he does have good instincts at times about like what's safe or what's not safe. There's just a few of the social cues that he doesn't, like the social diplomacy that he doesn't really understand the nuance of. But as he is picking it up, because he is someone who's so thirsty to learn, he's always learning. That's another thing. Like as he's traveling, he wants to hear the stories and he collects information like a sponge. And it's the same thing with his interactions with people, where he could just sit and listen to a character talk for 6 hours about whatever they're passionate about. If they're passionate about it, he's like, that was amazing. Can we do this tomorrow? You know, like he just wants to just, take it all in. And so there's something about that innocence, which I know, again, I said he's not naive, but that hunger for knowledge, that I think doesn't make you naive. I think it just makes you curious. And I think that's a really fun quality that sticks with me, just like in terms of how I would like to be more like, rather than I've seen it, I know it, I'm good, you know know what?
Always learning.
I want to tell me about this. Let's really sit down. You love stamps? All right, tell me about stamps. And who knows what you learn? Crazy history lessons of this misprint and who owned this and when was that done and all that kind of stuff. This stamp stopped a war. Something. Who knows? I think in terms of scenes, there's a few, but just in terms of like characteristics,
that one stuck out.
Mostly what stuck out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And innocence. Innocence is definitely a good term, like a good quality that major quality.
Openness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know for Rekka, we've talked about her kind of dedication, devotion, if you will, obsession, perhaps.
With Towa, yes. And it's funny, every time there's a scene that's just Rekka and Towa, it's so interesting to see like their dynamic, because Towa is constantly trying to like separate a little bit from Rekka, only because Towa can see that Rekka doesn't quite see the forest for the trees.
Yes.
Rekka sees Towa for being this amazing pillar of everything and the reason for her life, but isn't seeing Towa for Towa.
Right.
For who Towa is. And not to like talk about the ending, but I think like there's a scene toward the end where Rekka kind of opens her eyes a little bit. If I recall, this is like, it's again like this
is a fan fiction. Now we're
I'm just gonna write fan fiction.
So allegedly,
I think Rekka like kind of starts to see Towa a little bit for who Towa is as a person, and I think if I'm reading into it, I think Towa's a little afraid of what Rekka would think of Towa if Rekka knows who Towa truly is. And Rekka still loves Towa. Loves Towa like completely as a whole person, and not just as an amazing like godlike being, my purpose for living. And I think that's a really lovely spin on their relationship.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, because you'd imagine with that character arc, it would be very easy to just stay locked in. Like if at day one you've already got the halo effect and the rose-tinted glasses, it's like, other than Towa burning down the village or something, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you break the spell? But you can just by interacting with someone enough to be like, you know what it is? It reminds me of when like if you look up to somebody, like if they're a celebrity or something like that, and you meet them for the first time, you're like, oh my gosh, everything they do is hilarious, or everything they do is amazing and perfect.
Yeah.
And then you actually hang out with them enough, and you're like, you are wonderful, but man, your farts do stink.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you are human.
Yeah.
You are human. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, like, it's been a while, but I don't recall it being like a snap moment for Rekka, and
No.
it being more organic, and all of a
Right.
sudden being in the scene and
Gradual.
realizing, oh no, Rekka does like understand Towa's faults.
Yeah.
She just loves Towa.
She just loves her
unconditionally. Yeah.
Well,
And I think that's
I
lovely.
love that.
It is. It's beautiful.
Yes, I mean that's just like a really kind of really poignant look at how we approach I think a lot of different relationships, whether that could be meeting your heroes in real life, or getting over a crush and making it into
Yeah.
a friendship or an actual like sustainable relationship. I think that moment where you see someone for who they are and decide where you stand, I think that's pretty powerful. So
Yeah.
It's also a nice full arc because
Yes.
it's not just like, oh, look, I'm obsessed with you, and then, oh, I discovered you're also human too. It's like, no, here's the twist ending. I always knew you were flawed.
Yeah.
I loved you
truly
because
love
of that
you.
the whole time,
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
I think it's lovely. Not to
That's the M.
not
Night
to
Shyamalan
spoil
ending
the
I
ending
want.
for anyone, but
I feel we've been vague enough.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, and
yeah,
then there's
yeah.
just so much more to it than that too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like there's a lot for these. There's a lot for players to explore and to discover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to fall in love with.
That, or there's just a 5-minute long sensor beep as you're talking.
yeah.
About it. You're smiling. We're
Oh, yeah.
we're all nodding.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah.
the whole time.
Can't hear a word I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
But whatever it was beautiful.
Yes.
Yes. So it looks like we actually have
the sacred right, yeah.
so-
We do.
If you want to give it, you can. We don't want to force you into
No.
performance
This is
mode.
not a
I mean,
shine a spotlight.
I will be not looking into any camera whatsoever.
We're looking off into space,
Mhm.
remembering. Off
Remembering,
into
yeah,
space.
this is me
Yes.
remembering.
Do you want?
Do you want to try to do it in
Yes,
unison?
you wanna
do it
Okay,
together?
yeah.
All right.
Do you want me to count you in, or
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go?
Unto thine branches, which reach into eternity's expanse, we offer this, the light of mana, sacred
right.
Wow.
Ooh.
That was pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty
Yeah,
on point.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
let's go.
Chills, man.
Yeah, sorry, I tried to trip you up at the beginning there. I thought maybe.
He counted you. I'm like, I looked at him like, what the heck was that?
Oh, we got a note from the booth that says, y'all did that.
Thank you.
And you know what?
We
I believe that you did. But, thank you both for being in here. And Amanda, thank you for participating as well. This has been like,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
awesome
so
conversation.
much.
Though I think we've covered like a really lot, a breadth of topics, and we're excited to kind of bring you back for our next episode and keep talking about it. But for now, we appreciate the rest of you all for being with us today. Remember to go get Towa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree on all major consoles. Remember to subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you all next time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you later.